Now it is.
Okay, cool.
I stopped the recording because I sneezed.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want that in.
That's understandable.
So this is my new office.
That's nice.
It's here, I'll turn it around so you can see it. It's where I watch my football games. Got my TV on the wall. There's my desk on the other side of the chair. And here's my couch. And those are my Christmas lights up there. And that is my ficus tree. And pretty soon it's going to be my Christmas tree. We put that out pretty soon, right after Halloween. So
That sounds, it'll be really cute afterwards. But you could put lights on it for Halloween too, if you want.
It's actually one of these trees that you can program, so you can put a pumpkin on the tree.
Oh, that's cute.
So you can flash it as a pumpkin. So it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. I guess we
Should
could.
wait another minute or two.
Yeah, we could wait another minute. And
Whose
then get
iPhone?
started.
Can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
I don't know if it's me or not. This is Regina.
I see you, Regina. And the other one is iPhone, so it doesn't have a name.
Okay, I'll mute.
My name is Sergine.
Say again, please.
Sergine.
Sergine. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a new agent.
Oh yeah. Brand new?
I'm not brand new. I actually transferred from Massachusetts.
Okay.
I have my license over there in Massachusetts, so I
Okay.
just got my Georgia license here.
Gotcha. We'll give it one more minute. See if anybody else
Hey,
comes
Carol, how are you?
Cool.
All right, still working.
Who was that?
Oh, James is in
Okay.
the room with me.
So when can I come to see it?
Okay. All right. Here's how we're going to run the class today. We're going to do a question and answer. I'm going to let you guys throw questions at me, and I'm going to answer them for you. So go ahead, start throwing them at me. And there's no question that's dumb. Expired is a totally different thing. Not a lot of people love doing expireds. It is very lucrative if you're consistent. And there's two ways you can go about it. You can do older expireds, which are easier, or you can do brand new expireds. So, but it does take a while to learn the scripts and the skills, and you have to dedicate yourself. But you can easily, that alone is a six-figure income if you do it every day. So, oh, here's Lamar. We'll let him in. Welcome, Lamar. All right, so go ahead. You guys start firing some questions at me.
I have a question. How do you first approach them? Should you do like cold calling, or can you do like door knocking? Or how does that work?
Being COVID these days, I would not door knock. It's an instant excuse for them to tell you to go away. In a normal world, I have done plenty of door knocking and not had a lot of success, but I've had some people that, thanked me for coming over, and I actually got some listings from it. They said, you were the only one that actually came over and talked to me about it. So, but just, I think, in today's world, you do that, you can be offensive to the wrong people.
Okay. So it's just best to cold call.
It is. Yep.
Now, do you do like searches on like MLS, or?
It's best to have a service. If you're going to do the calls of all the expireds from yesterday, it's really a race. You're going to compete against a lot of ISAs. You're going to compete against a lot of big teams. And you really have to have your scripts down, and you have to have your questions down. And we work on those scripts Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 till, depending on how many people were in the class. We go through the scripts for old expireds, new expireds, for sale by owners, open houses. So any kind of script that you want to learn, we do that on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I will tell you this, if you think that you're going to come once and get it, it's not going to happen. You got to dedicate yourself for at least 2 to 3 months to get proficient, because these people that you're dealing with are smart, and they're dealing with a lot of agents, and they pick up very quickly who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't. So it really takes a special skill, and the ability to have great conversations is your key to listing expired listings. Did I answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, Diane.
Yeah, and then
Hey, Diane, good to see you. I think you're just connecting. Everybody, as long as you don't have a lot of background noise, you're welcome to unmute yourself and then just throw questions at me.
Regina wants to know, how do you get the phone numbers to call expireds, and what are the main points that you cover in the call when you do talk to them?
That's a very broad question. First of all, there's about probably 10 to 15 different services that you can purchase. And the more money you pay, the more expensive the service is, the more accurate the numbers are. It can go from, land voice, where all you really have is a number, and some of them are just home numbers. You can pay for their home number and their cell phone number as well. That gets a little bit more expensive. For the top one is Vulcan 7, which is about $320 a month. So by the time you get into that, you want to be good enough with your scripts that you're converting at least one a month to cover your costs. But there's a lot of different, and what I would suggest for a while is split with somebody. Take turns. Maybe one of you calls from 7:30 to 8, and then when you get done, the other person goes on, because a lot of the platforms allow 2 people on it. So you can put both of you on there, and if it's $120 for a month for the expireds and the FSBOs, and you split it, and it's $60 a month, and you both get a shot at them. Just realize these people now, when I started doing expireds, I would ask them, they'd be like, boy, I'm getting hammered by agents. And I would say, what does that mean? Is that how many people are calling you? I've had 5 calls this morning. Now that number is 40 to 50, sometimes upwards of 100. So you really have to be great at your conversations and great at your questions. And you got to get right to the point, because if you're not the first one that's called them, they've already dealt with the questions, and they're one screw up and they're going to hang up on you, to be honest. So like I said, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can get on there and I can teach you the scripts that work, and it doesn't take long. But there's certain ways you break down the conversation. It's kind of like somebody, if you have a suspect and you're a policeman, how you break them down. One step at a time, you get deeper and deeper and deeper with your questions, and it's all about them. And then you find out their motivation. And once you get to that deeper level, you've connected. And the bottom line is, you have to connect with these people. If you don't connect, they'll forget you, because there's another 40 people calling behind you. So you have to connect on an emotional level, and they have to understand by the time they get done talking to you that you can get their home sold, and you can get their next move taken care of.
How long does the phone call last when you call?
The longer, the better.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
If it goes for 45 minutes, you had a great conversation. And if you said 10 words in those 45 minutes, you had a fabulous conversation. So your goal in expireds is to ask a great question and then listen. Actively listening. Then when they ask, they give you your answer. You go to the next stage, you tell me a little bit more about that. And then you just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's all about them. And they want to complain. They want to tell you about their bad experience. And you're just a sounding board for them. And the worst thing you can do when you're talking to expireds is try and sell them, because they've already been sold by the last agent or 2 agents or 3 agents on how their house was going to sell in 3 days at full price and how great the market is. So just being a great listener is going to be your key. Somebody that finally listens and asks good questions, that's your way to connect.
Thank you. And your morning sessions at 8:30, I was able to attend 1 or 2, but had some stuff come up. So I'll be back joining you on a regular basis. It was just for anyone else. It was very good, I thought. So thank you for that, Tom.
Well, I am very good at expireds and a lot of scripts. And the reason is I failed so many times. I mean, I failed thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and then hired coach after coach after coach. And it was, it was all that failing that taught me what not to say. So if you jump on those calls, I can help you with what not to say.
Thank you. And I will be back. Thank you.
Yep. So I'll ask a question here. Who actually here is interested in doing some expired listings? And what I would start off with is I would try and get a list of some older expired listings. And I would go back a year or 6 months or 8 months. They're not getting many calls anymore. And those are easier conversations.
That's good. I'm actually probably more comfortable calling someone I don't know, like an expired or a FISBO, than I am calling my sphere. So do you mostly call expireds? Because I've been toying between expireds and FISBOs.
Oh, they're very similar.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
How do you search the expireds?
Yeah, you pretty much have to have a service. You have to pay for a service. And like I told them earlier, I think you joined a little bit later, I would grab a partner who's interested in doing it and I would split it. And, one of you can call it 7:45 to 8:15, and the other one can call 8:15 to 8:45 or whenever you're comfortable calling. People call all day now. People get hammered, but it is important to be one of the first to hit them before they know what's going on. So then, maybe you do the first calls at 7:45 on Monday, and then they get the first shot on Tuesday, something like that. But I would split it. And before you go ahead and buy a service like that, get proficient at the scripts and at the conversations, because it doesn't take long. They're very simple. Within about a month, you can be pretty good at the calls.
Which service do you use now? Vulcan 7?
Vulcan 7, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I've got about 6 or 7 years worth of, at least 6 or 7 years worth of old expireds on there.
So how far back do you, when you say call old expireds, how far back do you go? 6 months, 3 months?
There is no number, but you keep notes, and you take a look at the notes. And if you saw that you had a decent conversation, the key is the follow-up. You got to realize that they had a dream and they're going to sell. It's just a matter of when and how badly they got their feelings hurt because it didn't sell, or how much they realize now what their house is worth, and can they afford to sell now, or do they need to wait another 6 months to 9 months so that they can sell? Or what's changed?
Do you focus on the individual, or do you do any kind of like subdivision research or checking FMLS? Do you do much research or preparation before you call each one?
That's a great question. One of the things I think everybody should be doing, I was in a coaching program, and the idea was to be your local real estate expert, your market expert. And to do that, whatever schools you're servicing, you should be going on at least once a week for a while and knowing how many homes are selling at each price point, 200 to 300, 300 to 400, 400 to 500, because people are going to ask you the same question. Oh, so you're in real estate? Yep. Well, how's the market? Everybody gives the same response. Oh, it's great. That doesn't mean anything. The conversation at that point is over. If they're asking that question either just because they're being nice or they have an interest. So if you talk to them and you say, well, it depends because each price point is a different market. What market are you considering? Well, my house is in the 500 to 600. Right now, about 2 a month in Lassiter High School are selling in the 500 to 600 price point. So if you can give them, especially if they're somebody who is a number person, you can give them an accurate number and speak intelligently, they're going to be impressed right off the bat. So I would go in at least once a week, whatever schools you're going to service, take a look at all the price points. And it's only going to take you a couple weeks to understand how many homes are selling per month, how many homes are on the market, how quickly they're selling. And if you can spit out that information to them that quickly, you're going to be their guy or their girl, no doubt, because nobody else is going to give them information. They're just going to give an opinion.
That really helps. Thank you.
If I were talking to Diane and she was an expired listing, I guarantee she would want to know if she asked me that question, how's the market? Or maybe we were at a restaurant and she had a house that she was considering selling. Diane's a very calculated person. So if I just say something like, oh, the market's great, that doesn't do much for her. If I go to Diane and say, right now in your price point, things are selling, it's taken about 45 days to sell, and there's 3 homes in your price point right now. So probably not a bad time to get on the market. That's what Diane wants to hear.
Yeah, let's go, Tom. Let's do it. I'll sign that paperwork.
Again, it's knowing the people. And when you talk to them on the phone, the more questions you ask them, the more you learn what type they are. And you can tell that pretty quickly. So again, you guys, you're going to have friends that you meet at restaurants and at sporting events and stuff like that. And you're going to ask them, what do you do? And they're going to say, well, I'm an accountant. And oh, that's great. Who you work with? Blah, blah, blah. Then they're going to come back with, what do you do? Well, I'm a realtor. Who do you work with? Keller Williams. Well, how's the market? Oh, it's great. Thanks. You blew it. You absolutely blew it. Come back with a good question or a good answer, and they're going to be impressed, and you're going to get a call someday. Back to expireds. Questions?
How is the expired market right now? It seems like everything is selling, so there shouldn't be expireds, right?
There's always going to be expireds. The numbers are definitely down. But there's always going to be, in a market like this where everybody thinks their house is worth $1 million, they're going to find out and there's still going to be expired listings. So
I assume you avoid saying anything negative about the agent who just had the expired listing.
oh no, I would totally trash that. Yeah, I know that person. They're the biggest jerk I've ever met. No,
No.
I'm kidding. No, absolutely not. You never trash another agent. And you don't want any negative conversation to come up. You want a good, clean conversation where you guys have good, positive energy. And, we know why the house didn't sell. Either they didn't do the things to get it in good shape, or they wouldn't price it where it should have been priced. So we know it wasn't the agent's fault. But we want to come in with a fresh approach. And, you know, at that point, here's the cool thing about expireds. It's an instant price reduction. You're going to get a $10,000 price reduction. And that
Really?
may be absolutely.
Wow.
They know the reason. I mean, that people aren't stupid. They had 30 people go through their house and nobody gave them an offer. Either they have to fix it up and they're probably going to do some painting and some cleaning and stuff like that, or they know it was overpriced.
So you asked them, would you ask them, in their opinion, why it didn't sell?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I want to have a good conversation. I want to get in front of them before I ask a question like that. Because
Oh, okay.
if they think, you know, a couple things can come out of their mouth. Well, it was my agent. They didn't know how to market it. The market was bad. There's not too many positive things that are going to come out of that response. And every question that I ask, I want it to be a positive situation. At the end of that, I want them to think, boy, this is the guy I want to work with. So every question I ask, I'm looking for a positive response.
Can you give an example of a positive response question?
Sure. You know what? If you guys want, I'll take you through an old expired real quick. And I'll be honest, I am just a little rusty. I haven't done it in a couple months. But I've done it for 14 years, so I can pick it up pretty quickly. All right, so who wants to do one with me? Come on, Diane, you'll do it with me. You be the old expired.
Okay.
You were, let's say you were last summer, okay?
All right.
All right. So ring.
What's my price? Sorry, what's my price? Doesn't matter.
Oh, this is free. No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We'll just get into it. So,
All
right, ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this Diane?
Yeah. Who's
Hey,
this?
Diane. My name is Tom Conrad. I'm a local realtor. Was calling about your house you had in the market last summer. Did I catch you at a good time? Do you have 2 minutes for a quick business call?
Okay, 2 minutes. That's about what I got. Sure.
Good. I appreciate your time. I noticed that it was on the market for about 3 months. Did it actually sell, or is it still available?
No, it didn't sell. We're thinking about selling maybe in about 6 months.
Okay. So in a perfect world, you're looking at really next spring. Is that correct?
Yeah, yep. Figured we should wait until the spring market.
Okay. You thinking early spring, like February or March or April? Any idea?
Probably more like March or April.
Okay. So once everything starts blooming, everything will be a little bit more pretty.
Yeah, yep. Want to let things get. It just seems like that's more spring than February.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Sometimes we have some really nice weather in February. And the only thing I say is sometimes you have no inventory in February and everybody plans on March 1st. And the advantage is if you do have some nice weather and you're prepared to go on, you can be competing with 2 or 3 homes, and that's going to be an automatic sale for you. Versus March and April, everybody's planning to go on once the flowers are blooming. And yes, it is prettier, but at the same time, you have more competition. So it's a decision that you have to make yourself.
Oh, I see.
Is there
I
any
didn't know that.
any changes that you think need made before you go back on the market from your feedback?
Yeah. We decided we'd go ahead and put some granite countertops in.
Okay.
I hate to do it, but yeah.
Well, hopefully you can get your money back out of it. While you were on the market, did you have a house in mind? Did you have one that you were looking at that you were considering?
We did. We had one, but we had to let it go because we didn't sell.
Gotcha. So that must have been pretty disappointing. So why, what's the reason for the move? Were you upsizing, downsizing, wanted to get
We
close?
want to downsize. Do
Do you mind me asking what area you were looking in?
We were looking at a retirement community in Woodstock.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I actually live in Woodstock, and I'm able to walk to all the restaurants almost every night. So
Oh, I see.
it's building more and more all the time. The weekends are wonderful. They have concerts. They have cornhole every weekend, or during the week they have leagues. So it's a great place to retire.
Well, yeah, that's what we're looking at. That's what we want to do whenever we can sell this boat
It'll
anchor.
it'll definitely happen. Is there anything? What are you looking for in your next agent?
Someone to sell the house.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything that you think um, the next agent could do better to help sell it?
Well, we're considering sticking with the same agent.
Okay.
We but we haven't made up our minds yet.
I
I
love that.
definitely want the agent to market it better than the last agent.
Gotcha. I love the fact that you're loyal to the agent. I'm sure they worked very hard. If you get to the point where you'd like, might not be a bad idea to get a second opinion on not just how to market it, but where you need to be priced. Is she a local agent? Is she a Woodstock agent? She knows the market pretty well here, or is she?
No, she's a cousin. She's my cousin.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Well, like I said, I'd be happy to, at any point, when you're ready, I'd be happy to give you a second opinion. And what I like to do with my clients is not just tell you, but take about 10, 15 minutes and sit down and show you what you're going to be competing against. And then you can help, between the two of us, we'll figure out where it should be priced, and it will be pretty obvious versus me just telling you a number without any. So I like to put the stuff in front of you, let you take a look at the pictures, and then compare the house to your house, and you'll know where you're going to fit in. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we didn't do that. Yeah, we didn't do that before. I guess it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion, I guess.
No, and then you can still go with your cousin if you want, but maybe she takes a look at it and she says, yeah, you're right. Because agents aren't always right, or every house would sell. So, but it's nice to have a second opinion, and you don't want to go through the same experience again, especially I know all the work you did. You're having to get out, all the showings that you went through, a huge hassle. You put all that work into it. You have a dream, you have a house set up. You don't want to go through that again. You want to get it done as quickly as possible and make that move and get your family where you want to go. So
yeah, I wish it had happened the last time. Oh,
well, maybe it wasn't meant to be, but we've got a great market right now, and there's no reason we won't have a great market this spring. The rates are still down. The inventory is still down. So
do you think the rates will still be down next spring?
Hard to tell. I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't think they're going to raise that much. What about you?
Oh, I think they could go up, but that's my worry, that we won't be able to buy as much house next spring.
Well, like I said, we never know. They could go down. Well, they can't go down much more. It's almost
No, they sure can't.
So.
Okay, well,
Very well.
I got to run. So
Here's what I'll do. I'll send you my contact information. And if it's okay, I'll send you a text about once a month just to see if you need anything. Sometimes people change their mind and all of a sudden they see a house that they absolutely love and they consider going on the market pretty quickly. So I'll send you a text once a month, see if you need anything. And then we get closer to the first of the year. Maybe we can sit down and we'll take a look at the numbers and what you're looking at.
okay. All right. Well, you've got my cell phone.
Very good. Diane, thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
Thanks, Tom. Nice to meet you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. So you don't try to set the appointment?
Well, not if you're 6 months out.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you're still a little disappointed. I could tell. It's not my goal to tell you when to sell. It's my goal to get a good conversation and build some rapport and not try and sell you on when you're supposed to sell your house. So,
Yeah, I think that's a really good distinction because I've always thought it was to get the appointment and to get them on the market now.
and I'm going to use the next couple months to, I'll call them up and I'll text them and I'll say, hey, are there any contractors you need? Anything coming up maybe that might want to come up that will come up in the inspection that you want to check out, whatever it is, and just offer out. So over the next couple months, I'm going to build a relationship and hopefully I outwork your other agent. And
Yeah.
that, and maybe you stay with your same agent. That's okay. Because there's, 30,000 listings. I mean, you're going to get some listings. If you keep doing it, it's just a matter of time till you get them. And the cool thing is, and one of the questions I always ask, and I think it's a big one, I ask it right off the bat is this going to be a local move or is it going to be an out-of-state move? And the reason I'm going to ask that is that 2 sales for me or is that 1? And that's the deal. And if they're in the 500 price point, that's the difference between a $15,000 or a $30,000 paycheck. So now I know how much I'm going to pay a little bit more attention if they got 2 sales. And I'm going to make sure to really follow up and do a great job with them.
Hey, what is your follow-up process? How do you make sure you stay on track with that?
Just use I just set a reminder. I use the old paper. That's it.
You're such a Luddite.
A what?
That's a Luddite. That's somebody who eschews technology. Someone who.
I'm not great with technology. I just, I put a little note, a little tab, and I call them. But again, I haven't done that in a while. I had a stack, and I have a stack of 50, 60 expired listings, and I have my notes on them. I print them out, and then I just go through and I actually had the Gary in a box, little file box.
Love it.
And
Yeah.
I'd stick, okay, this is the one, for December, January, February, and these people I followed up on each month. I mean, how can you screw up with that?
It's true. You can screw up by not doing it.
Yep. I think if I were to tell you guys one thing about expired listings is do not sell. Don't ever try and get a date. Don't try and marry them over the phone. All you're trying to do is have a good conversation and get in the door. And once they get comfortable, you got to realize they have walls built up. We're all realtors and none of us sold their house. So they've got walls built up. You've got to get the walls down. And you're going to do that with good questions and caring about their situation. So once their walls are down and you can start digging a little bit deeper and finding out about their situation, then you're going to get an invite. And the best case scenario is you don't even ask for an appointment to come over. They start liking you enough. They say, I'd just love to meet. Can you come over on Friday? That's when you know you're having some great conversations.
Tom, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Okay, I just had a memory mind lapse. One, why don't you mentioned you did a lot of expireds? Do you have so many referrals now that you don't call expireds? And go ahead.
I've got a lot of business right now just coming off past expireds, and just being in the business, and I'm taking a little bit different approach now. I go to restaurants almost either for lunch or for dinner, and I go to the bars, and a lot of times I drink iced tea, and I sit in a position where I can be on the right and the left of a couple people. And my goal is to have some good conversations with them. And I would rather do that than do the cold calling right now. And I love the conversations, but it's something I probably need to get back doing, but I've got enough business right now that I don't have to. And I just really, if I'm going to do it again, I have to make myself a promise and commit myself to do it. And I haven't gotten to that point where I'm ready to commit myself, where I'm going to get up every morning and do it. So I'm just not quite there yet. And I did it for 14 years, and I will do it again. But
Okay, well, we don't want you as a competitor, so just keep going to the bars.
trust me, there's a lot of competitors out there, and they're great. They are great. They're great in the phone. But you know, just because they're great doesn't mean they can. Everybody has their people that they like, and there's going to be people that you just connect with immediately on the phone. They like your voice, they like how kind you are, and they're going to pick you to come over. It doesn't matter if it's you're competing against Mark Spain or Michael Cheever.
Oh.
They're all you because they had a good conversation with you.
Okay, that's good. The other thought I had was when you started the conversation, did you have a mental process going on identifying her disc personality? And did you tailor questions based on that? Or did you just kind of go with the flow?
I go with the flow. I just try and ask questions. The one thing she kind of threw me off on was she said, we're going to go in 6 months. Rarely does that ever happen. That they say, I'm going to sell in 6 months. Usually it's like, you know, and then the question is, for me is, well, I get that, you know, you had a tough experience, didn't happen. In a perfect world, when would you like to make that move? And I don't use the word sell. When would you like to move? Because they still want to move. And when would be the best time for you and your family to make that move? And that gets things rolling after that.
You and Diane were great. That really, I thought that was very beneficial for us. Thank you both for doing that.
She made it easy on me by telling me that it was 6 months away. So.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I
Okay.
should have stumped you.
Thank you.
I thought you would, Diane.
I didn't want to play Stump the Chump with, with other agents on the call. If it was just us, I would have done it.
I think the biggest thing you guys can learn from today is mindset. If you come across as this being about you and your paycheck, you're done. If you come across as, you know, if you have to realize that Diane and her family left the house 45 times, they cleaned up, they worked their butts off, and they did everything they were supposed to do. They had a house lined up, they had a new life lined up. If you take that approach and you're sympathetic and understand where they're coming from, and you can meet them there at that place, meet them where they're at, you're going to have a great conversation. But if you come in telling them you're the world's greatest and blah, 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 it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Don't sell them on the phone. Meet them where they're at, have a great conversation, and honestly, care about their situation. And tell them the truth. They've already goofed once. The agent told them it's $20,000 off. Don't put them through it again. Show them, say, this is where you should be. You guys work at it together, and be honest with them. You don't need a listing. You don't want to spend another $200 on photos, and you don't need chewed out. Be honest with them, and you make sure that when you sign that agreement that you know that you're going to get the job done for them. And then do everything that you promised that you would do.
Thank you. That was very informative.
Yep. It's not about you, you guys. It's about them. And they're going to know it pretty quickly whether it's about you or them. And I will tell you, make yourself a commitment. Make yourself a promise. There's one thing I like to teach. Anywhere that you have an area that you're not getting the success, you've made a promise to yourself that you broke. And you have to learn, if you're going to make a promise to yourself, whether it's going to be, I'm going to get in shape, or I'm going to save $20,000, or I'll I'm going to put enough money away for vacation, and you broke that promise to yourself, that's where your failure is. So when you decide to make a promise to yourself, like, I'm going to call 5 expireds a day. If you're not willing to do that, don't make that promise. If it means that you start off with making 1 expired call a day, promise yourself that, do it, then move on to 2. Think of yourself as a weightlifter. You don't go in benching 300 pounds. Start small, get used to trusting yourself and fulfilling your own promises. And then once you start fulfilling your own promises, you'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. And that can affect a lot of areas in your life. And that's not my original. I read a lot, so I can't take credit for that.
Tom, by the way, I started, but I had to stop, but I got through a couple of oh God, it's all I can remember is the swear word, the F your emotions or something like that. I found it free on YouTube audiobooks.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I'm gonna go back to it. I had to switch gears and focus more on the shift for a while. So, but it was kind of cool the little bit I listened to. So thank you for that.
There's 2 good books, and they're both top sellers, bestsellers. And the first one is Un-F Yourself. And it's great. He does do a little swearing, but
That was it. Yeah.
it's a wonderful book. It's real. It gets into action, and it's just a great book. I've read it probably 10 times. And then his second version is Stop Doing That Shit. And it gets a little deeper into it. And, but they're both excellent books because ultimately it talks about getting you into action and getting you out of your head. And like I say, Michael Jordan was never famous because of what he was thinking about on the court. Michael Jordan was famous because of the shots that he made, because of the actions he took, the practice that he took, and all the dedication. That's why he was famous. So it's never about your thoughts. Get out of your thoughts, get out of your head, and start doing actions. Figure out where you want to be in 5 years. Figure out what actions it's going to take. Make yourself a promise, and then start taking the actions, and you'll see the success. It's not complicated.
Simple but hard. Thank you very much.
2 great books, you guys. And to be honest, one of the things he says is you comprehend, or you, what's the word I'm looking for? You absorb about 10%. And I always do it when I'm driving around instead of listening to the depressing radio. You absorb about 10%. And if you listen to it 10 times, you'll hear a lot of different things every single time. And 2 or 3 points can absolutely change your life. So, all right, any other questions?
Well, that was worth me participating, just hearing about those 2 books. Thanks, Tom.
Good. You want to hear
Thank
something?
you, Tom.
You want to hear something funny, you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was in 1992. I was dating this girl, and we didn't have cell phones. And we started talking, just texting, about 7, 8 months ago. She finally went on Facebook, and I'm actually going, her sister broke her leg in multiple places. I was going to send her some flowers, and she said she doesn't want flowers. She wants a bottle of tequila. So I said, all right, I'll bring you a bottle. I have not seen her in almost 29 years, and I'm going to see her today. Take her a bottle of tequila for her sister.
How fun.
Have fun. That's
That's fun.
great.
Awesome.
Have a good time.
Oh, I'm sure this girl's a good time. She's fun. So
Oh,
anyway,
that's fun.
I just
Okay,
hope
we want to follow up report
I just
tomorrow.
a bottle of tequila before she gives it to her sister. Anyway. All right, you guys. Thanks for attending. Hope to see you on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you so
for
much.
your time.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate it, Tom.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.